Hello all. I welcome you on this session, which is for SharePoint Online. Thank you so much for joining the session. In this session, we will be going to learn about the SharePoint. I would say the basic knowledge about the SharePoint, what is the purpose of the SharePoint, how we can use it, what all the features which SharePoint can provide to us. Of course, SharePoint is in itself is a very vast product and the services which we cannot get all the information in 1 hour of session. However, the basic how we can start with the SharePoint, that is what we'll be going to learn. And we'll see 2 or 3 functionalities and the features which comes with the SharePoint. So let me introduce, first of all, my name is Rohan and I am Microsoft certified trainer. In terms of my experience, I have more than 8 years of experience with Microsoft product. I started my journey as a support engineer back in 2014, and that to be with Microsoft. Later on, I started my journey as an SharePoint administrator, and then I also become a trainer. As an SharePoint administrator, I worked for 2 or 3 clients where I used to handle all the tickets with regards to our client's requirement, where we used to create the SharePoint environment, SharePoint sites, list libraries, and we accordingly also provide the permission to the users as per their roles and their designations. So let's start with the session over here. We would be having our agenda, what we will be going to discuss in our particular session. Whatever the things can be covered in this 1 hour of session. All right. So we'll be going to have a look on what is SharePoint. And then we'll be going to look interacting with document library. What is the document library? And then we'll be going to see the list. What is the SharePoint list? How we can create it? What is the purpose of the list? And the important part, I would say, which comes with the SharePoint is the permission. Permission in SharePoint. So that is what we'll be going to look into our session. Let's begin. If we will talk about that, what is SharePoint, right? As it says, organizations use Microsoft SharePoint to create websites. You can use it as a secure place to store, organize, share, and access information from any device. All you need is a web browser, such as Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, Chrome, or Firefox. So if I try to explain this, Microsoft has designed the service SharePoint Online and provided to a client. Again, it's a paid service. The client has to purchase the licenses for it, right? After purchasing the license, they would be having their account on the Microsoft portal. And in that Microsoft portal, it will, like Microsoft, has a lot of products apart from SharePoint as well. If I talk about OneDrive for Business, Microsoft Teams, Exchange, Microsoft Streams, Forms. So all this comes, and there are many more, I would say. So all these come under the Microsoft 365, or we can also say Office 365 product. One of them is a SharePoint. Whereas if I talk about Microsoft Teams, we might be knowing that what it is for. It is for our Teams meeting, to perform a group chats and to share the documents within the chats. That is all the functionalities which comes with the Microsoft Teams. Exchange Online, which is an Outlook, of course. It's a mail system where we send and receive the emails. And I would say in most of the organizations, we are familiar with the Outlook, how we can use it. And in many organizations, it is, it used. And then if I'll talk about Microsoft Stream, Stream is a place for video streaming. So Microsoft has also created the stream. If any of the videos are being recorded by the Microsoft Teams in a group chat and in a Teams meetings, all those will be going to saved on the Microsoft Stream portal. Microsoft has its own Microsoft form where we can design the forms for our quiz or for our educational purpose, where we can just design the form, put all the questions, like the professors and the teachers can put all the questions along with the optional answers over there, and can be shared. That form can be shared with the students, and students can submit their responses along with their answers into it. So these are the services which Microsoft provide. Yes, our focus, our center of the point is SharePoint. Here in the SharePoint, Microsoft provides the the platform where we can save our documents, files, or documents in a format, in a form of any of the format. I would not say any, but the supported ones, which are the supported formats which can take place on the SharePoint environment. It can be saved. All the files format, I would say, like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PDF, JPEG, video files, those files, all of these files can be saved in the SharePoint environment. It's just not the saving platform. It is not the purpose to just save it. Microsoft also provides advanced features and functionality with the SharePoint, where it also provides a structure which can provide the security into that area. So if I have saved, if I have one of the document library, of course, if we are trying to save anything or in a form of file, it has to be saved in one of the document library. In that library, after saving all the documents, our organizational documents, it provides the functionality to share the documents within the organization as well as outside of the organization. That comes in the external sharing. If we want our users to provide that authority that they can share the files outside of the organization, that feature is also there. If we want to restrict our users to not to share anything outside of the organization, that functionality is also available in that SharePoint environment. For internal users as well, the permission section is also there, which is again really important one. uh, in terms of internal purpose, of course, if I am running in a company, multiple projects will be running, right? And for each projects, they will be having their own SharePoint sites and the library respectively. Now, of course, what we want, even though we are working in the same organization, but what I want that from this project team, from project team A, and there is a project team B, but what they want that the employees of their respective teams should not be able to, access the data, to the, like, for the other team. If like the employees which are working in project B, they should not be able to access the information which are available in project A. So that's why the permission matrix has taken the place, where we can assign the permissions, we can define their roles of the users, that which type of access and permission we want to provide to them, uh, so that accordingly they can work on the environment. So all these features and the functionality comes with the SharePoint. It is not just to save the document. If we want to save the documents, there are a lot of other third party, I would say, tools are available where we can just save our documents, right? Like the storage, I would say the storage applications are available outside in the market. But SharePoint, for the organizational perspective, it provides more functionalities, as we have discussed. Moving ahead, it says creating SharePoint sites. So of course, we will be going to see that how we can create a SharePoint site in the SharePoint platform. So I will open my environment. First of all, I believe we all will be familiar that how to access the Microsoft 365 or Office 365 portal. That is the URL www.office.com, or we can also type www.portal.office.com, right? After putting all the credentials, if we have the license, of course, after putting all the credentials in that area, it will be going to land on this particular page. It's the home page for Microsoft 365, right? So on the top left side, we are having an app launcher. It's like 9 dots are over there in a square form. So if I'll click on it, so I'm telling you over here, what is the SharePoint, all right? Like how we can access the SharePoint over here. So once I will click on this app launcher, it will show all the applications which takes place or which comes with the Microsoft 365. As I was telling you, that's the Outlook is there, OneDrive is there, Word and Excel application is also there, PowerPoint, right? Yammer is there, Teams is there, and we can see our SharePoint as well. So this is our SharePoint tile. Being as a user, how I can access, if my administrator has provided me the license, then how I can access the SharePoint. This is one of the way I can access it. So once I will click on this SharePoint tile, it will be going to open the new tab, and this is the SharePoint area. So these are, you can see there are some of the sites, like frequent sites section is there on the right window, where it is having all of the sites. So these are my demo sites on which I used to work, right, for my practice. So like if you are a new user to the SharePoint, you might see nothing. It would be blank for you. Once you will create your own sites, and if you would be having the access on those sites, you will be able to see all those sites over here. Now, being as a user, I can see I am on the SharePoint platform now, SharePoint environment now, and I want to create a site. So on the top ribbon, I can see on the left side, it says create a site option. All right. So I need to press on this. But before I do that, I would also like to show you one more method by which we can have the accessibility to create a SharePoint sites. In case if you are one of the SharePoint administrators, I'm sorry, then how we can access the SharePoint sites? Because there will be some scenarios in many organizations that the organization may not allow users to create the SharePoint sites on their own. So whenever a SharePoint site is required, they need to reach to the respective admins, and admins will be going to take the responsibility to create these SharePoint sites, and accordingly they will assign the permission for those users if they want to have the access on those particular sites. So in this scenario, how the SharePoint admins will be able to create it? So what we can do, I'm again back to my Microsoft 365 homepage, and on the left panel, I can see there is an option of admin. I can see the admin. Even if I'm not having the admin option over here, I can click on this, app launcher. I would be getting the admin tile over here as well. So I can just click on this admin. What it will do, on the new tab, it will be going to open the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So this is the Admin Center of the Microsoft 365, where if you have the global admin rights, if you are one of the global administrator for your organization, you will be having all the permissions and authorizations to perform any activity. You will be responsible to create a user profile over here, right? On the left panel, you can see we are having the options, and the second option says user profiles. Under user profiles, I am having the active users, where I will be able to create the user's profile if any user is taking place in my organization, or if any of the users are leaving the organization, I can simply go ahead and delete their profiles from here as well, being as the global admin, if I have the responsibility, and rights. Now, of course, we need to reach to our SharePoint environment. So last option where I can see it, it says show all. I need to expand it. Once I'll do it, I will be having more options. However, I need to scroll down and there will be a section which is the admin centers section. All right. So here I will be seeing my SharePoint option. I need to click on this. It will again open in a new tab. This will open the SharePoint Admin Center. Previous page was Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Now I am on my SharePoint Admin Center. If I have, so suppose there will be some users in our organization who are not the global administrator, but yes, as per their roles and their designations, they might get some privileged admin center rights to access them. Some of them will be, some of them would get Teams administrator. So they will be able to manage all the Teams functionality and features from their end. Some of them will be, will be having the Exchange administrator to manage all the Outlook or the mailboxes for the users. And some of them will be having the SharePoint Admin Center rights. So once we will reach to the SharePoint Admin Center, this is how the SharePoint Admin Center homepage, this is how it looks like. And we can also reach to the SharePoint Admin Center with the help of a URL. URL of the SharePoint Admin Center is here on the top. So if I'll copy this URL, let me open my notepad. So this is the URL of the SharePoint Admin Center. However, this one, the first, I would say the first section of this URL, which is having this alphanumeric phrase over here, it is my domain. Suppose if I would be having my domain like ABC, like abc.com, this is my domain, right? And if I have registered myself and I have picked up the domain which I have, then in that scenario, my SharePoint URL will be abc-admin.sharepoint.com, right? So this phrase will be going to replace by my admin name. If you have any other like a Contoso domain, contoso.com, so then it will be having contoso-admin.sharepoint.com. So here, just give me 1 minute, please. I'm sorry for that. So here we are having this contoso.com. It's again one of the examples, right? And in that scenario, our URL of the SharePoint Admin Center will be contoso-admin.sharepoint.com, right? So depending upon which of the which of the domain do you have, it will be going to show you the admin center URL in that form. Now here, so yes, we were talking about how we can create the SharePoint, sites. So I can simply go over here and I need to, on the left panel, I need to click on this site section and need to click on active sites. So this is for the admins, because only the admins, the SharePoint admins will be having the access to reach over this point. So here I can see the create option, create, and it will ask me to create one of the SharePoint sites, right? So from here, I can also create it being as an administrator. Now I'm going back being as a user who does not have any rights like admin rights. So from this scenario, I am under my SharePoint environment and I am having this option of creating a site. I will press on this. Here it says create a site, whether it says team site or a communication site, right? So there is a difference between these two. However, for our project purpose, right, it is recommended to use a team site because Only the people who will be going to have the authorization to this site will be able to access this particular, all the particular content which are available on this site. Rather than the communication site is for the, broadcasting the messages and news with respect to the organizations, and it can be accessed through, all the users which are available in the organizations, right? So that is a basic difference. However, if we want to have more details, what is the difference between team site and a communication site? As it says on the top line over here, choose the type of site you would like to create or learn more about team sites and a communication site. So these are the hyperlinks. If you will click on team site and if you will click on communication sites, it will be going to open the Microsoft supported article over here like this: creating a team site in SharePoint, or should I create a team site or a communication site? So all that information will be available. We can go through, right? Let me come back to the section where it says to select the template for team site or a communication site. So I'm going to select the team site. I have selected it. I need to provide it a name, right? So I can give it a name: demo webinar site. Okay. So this is my site name, demo webinar site. Okay. And you can see after on the next text box, it is having a group email address. So team site will be having its group email address, which means the user who will be going to add into this particular site, maybe as the member or as the owner, they will be able to access the group mailbox as well to share the information with each other. And also they will be having the opportunity to have the group chats, or to create the teams channel with respect to this particular site. That's why it is showing that it is having a group email address. Whereas for the communication site, once you will try to create the communication site, it will not be having this group email address over there. The next box, it says the site address. The site address will be like this. So it will show you that this will be the URL of this particular site which you are creating. So this one is the domain.sharepoint.com. This URL is a root site collection for the SharePoint, right? So whatever the sites you will be going to create, n number of sites over here, right? So they will be going to have this root site collection as the origin. And then after that, it will be having /sites and then / the name of the site which you have provided, demo webinar site. All right. After that, if you want to provide any kind of a description, you can do that. And here it is having the privacy setting, whether you want to declare this site as a public or a private. Public, we can see over here, it says anyone in the organization can access this site. And the private says only members can access this site. So accordingly, as per our preference, we can have this, we can select this option. Then it is having the language. Select the default site languages for your site. You can't change this later. So whatever the language we want to define for our site, we can define it over here, right? And let me just try to move this. Then we are having the next option. After selecting all this, we are having the next option. Now it says add a member. It is not mandatory to add a member. All right. So I will just press on finish as if now I'm not adding any member in this site. So the site is created now. As we can see, the site name demo webinar site, and on the, so it says start designing your site. I will just close this pop-up window. So it is showing this demo webinar site, right? And on the right corner, the top right corner, it is declaring that it's a private group. One member, it is showing the one member, which will be that one member who has created that site. So by default, that person will be going to add in the site that to be as an owner of the site. So my account is MOD administrator. That's why this entry is over there. Now here we come. This is how the site looks like, right? And this is the site homepage where we'll be having all the news with regards to our project, right? And there will be some quick links. So this page is also customizable. We can customize this page. On the top right side, we have this edit option. Once we will press this edit option, it will allow us to edit the page. If we want to remove anything, like if we want to remove this news feed template from here, we can remove it. Or from this right section, if we want to remove, we can remove it, and we can add more more functionality or shortcuts on this particular home page. So that is a part of the customization. All right. Now here we have gone through our creating a site. So we have created a sites, right? And now we will be going to talk about document library in SharePoint sites, how we can create a document library. All right. So there are multiple methods to create the document library in our sites, because on the site page, definitely it will be going to show you the content which you have in this site. So I'm sorry, to have the content, we need to create our SharePoint library and the list. So if you can see on the top ribbon on this particular home page of the site, it is having a new option. If I will click on this, it will give me a menu, and in that menu I am having some of the options where it says the first option list, second one says the document library. All right. So this is one of the way to create the list and the document library. We can create it. However, I would show you one more method. That is on the left panel. If you see on the left panel, we are having multiple options like home. After home, it is showing conversations, and third option, it is saying documents. So this is the default document library. Whenever a site gets created, it also creates its default document library, which name is itself is a document. If I'll click on this, here it is. It is showing the name of the library. It is a documents library. I can save all my files. As it says, this folder is empty. I can save all the documents over here, whichever I want. I can upload it. We are having the option of upload on the top ribbon. I can upload it from my local machine, like file or a folder if I want to upload, or I can directly create any of the file on this document library. I'm having the new options again. Here it is. If I click on new option, it is giving me opportunity to create a folder or directly create the files, whichever I want, whether it is Word file, whether it is Word Excel workbook, whether it is one notebook, right? However, it is a default documents library, which name itself is a document. Now what I want, I want to create more libraries, which I want. So I have shown you one method from the home page. So, and the other method will be from the option which we can see on the left panel. It is the site contents. So the last option over here, or not the last one, the site contents above to the recycle bin. So if we will press on the site content, it is having all the contents which are here under the site. In SharePoint environment, it also provides the opportunity to have or to add the applications. We can develop the application in our organization level with the help of the developers, and we can have those applications over here as well. So whatever the library, if I am having 10 libraries or 20 libraries and 10 or 20 list in my SharePoint site, every library will be going to take place under the site contents. All of the things, all of the content with regards to the sites will be available under the site contents, because all the options or all the list and library name cannot take place as the in terms of a navigation on the left panel, right? So there is a limit of it, of course. So if we want to see more options, if we have more libraries, and if we want to see all of them, this is the place. Under the site content page, we can see on the top area, I am having the new option again, where it is allowing me to create a list or a document library. First, I am going to create a document library. After pressing that option, it is giving me this option. It says name. I want to provide its name. Suppose I will give it name like a test. webinar library. All right. So this is the name. I can provide a description if I want, right? And at the end, it says show in the site navigation, which is checked marked by default, which means what would happen once I will create it, it will take place on the left panel just for the navigation. So I will keep this check mark, right? And then I will press on create. Here it is. Now you can see the name of this library is test webinar library. And on the left panel, you can see it has also taken the place test webinar library. I have this document library, which name itself is document. Now I have this one, which I have created from my end. That is test webinar library. Again, I'm having the same options. I'm able to upload the files and the folders from my local machines if I want to. And if I want to create direct files over here, I can do that, right? So let's try to create one file and one folder. Suppose if I'll select the first option, folder, I can give it a name like a test folder. And then it says create. So this is the folder, it has been created. If I want to directly create a file, what will happen? Suppose I will take the Word file, right? Once I will open it, it will open the Word online like this. So it on the new tab, it will open the Word web or web view. Here I will be able to hello world, right? So I have just typed this content into this document, and I can simply close this from here on the tab. Once I will close it, I need to refresh it, refresh my library, and you can see the documents.docs has taken the place. So it has taken the default name documents.docs. If I'll create another Word file, it will be having numbers appending with it. Document 1, document 2, right? We can also rename these. To rename these, in every file, in front of every file, we are having these 3 dots, which is also known as more actions option, ellipsis sign. If I'll click on it, it will be giving me many options with respect to this particular file, right? However, I need to rename the name. I will press on this rename option and I can give it a name. It says hello test, all right? And then I will press on rename. So you can see the file has been renamed. So we have created a test folder and we have also created direct a file. If we will open a folder, suppose this folder, test folder, you can see it is showing the path, the test webinar library, and now we are under test folder. Same in the folder, it also gives the opportunity to upload a file from our local machine or directly create a file, right? So we can also create folders, subfolders as well, right? So this is with regards to our library, that how we can just create the library and how we can upload the documents into it, and how we can directly create the documents into it. In terms of uploading a file, if I'll press on upload and if I'll click on files, so it will ask me to select which file I want to upload. Suppose I have these files, like suppose I have one Excel file which name is location in bracket 1, location 1. Suppose I will select it and I will click on open. So it will be going to upload it. Here it is. The location 1 is being uploaded over here. So I can simply upload the files as well. Now, so this was part for the document library. Now we will look the list. Okay. Again, to create a list, as we have seen, we can go to the home page and from there we can create the list, right? Again, the second option is to go to the site content, right? Here is the option of site content on the left panel. And here I can simply again click on new and can click on list. If I'll click on the list, it will show me some of the templates as well. So this is a template section as well, where it says which type of list you want to create, whether you want a kind of a issue tracker, employee onboarding, event initiatory, asset manager, recruitment tracker, and some other templates are over there. According to our need and preferences, we can select these. However, on the top, I am having the option of blank list, so I can select that one as well. Once I will click on that blank list, it will be asking me to put the name. So I can click on demo webinar list. All right. If I want to provide a description, I can do that. As it is also having the option of to show in the site navigation. I would keep that mark checked and will click on create. So you can see on the left panel, I am under my, it is highlighted demo webinar list just below to the test webinar library. So this is my list. So the purpose of the list to put the items into it in a form of row and the column, right? So here it will allow us to create the columns, and after creating the columns, it will allow us to put the entries into it, right? Similarly, as we were getting the option of new on the top ribbon in the library, we are also having that same option in the list, but this will not, this new option will not allow us to, add the folder or the file, because this is not a document library, it is a list, right? So right now, the default column, one column is there in this list, which is title. We can see the title column is there, which is empty. If I will press on new like this, if I'll press on new, so it is allowing me to enter the item into it, right? The name of it, like to fill the entries. Title, I can just take it like Mr. Right? So after that, I can save it because I am having one column, no other entries are there to fill in. I can click on save. You can see under the title column, I am having Mr. entry, right? Now, if I want to create more column, I can click on this add column, which is just over here, the next one. If I'll press on add column, it will give me the property of the column, which type of column you want to create, whether it should be single line of text, whether it should be multiple lines of text, location or a number column, yes or no column, date and time column, right? So whatever the column I need to select, I can choose it. I will select like multiple lines of text. Once I will do that, it will ask me to create a name of a column, right? So I would say maybe like name of a column is, I would say employee name, right? So I'm sorry, employee name, and here I can put the description if I want. Type, we can see it is already selected multiple lines of text. I can also change it from here if I want to change. If I have changed my mind, I can do that, and simply I can click on save at the bottom. So you can see after title we have the employee name column. I will create one more column. It says add a column, employee name, and here I can put again select. Suppose I will select date and time. Okay, I have selected the date, right? And I would say date of joining. Description type is date and column. Here it says if you want to include the time into this or not. If I will turn this on, it will also include the time. Otherwise, it will only be having the date format into it. So that is again as per our preference. I do not need the time because we just need the date only. So after doing that, I will press on save. So you can see after the employee name, it is having date of joining, right? Now I want to fill these entries, right? So again, I need to press on new tab over here on the top ribbon. Once I'll do that, now you can see the title is there. I will again put Mr. Employee name. I can just type anyone, maybe like Mr. Harry, right? Now it is having the column to full Harry Paul. I can just give it a name. The date of joining, it will be having this calendar. So I need to click on this calendar. It will be showing me the calendar over here, right? From where I can select the date, whatever the date I want to select, suppose 10th of October, right? And then below that, it will be having the save option. Let me move this for now like this. So if I'll press on save, so you can see the entries has taken the place. Mr. Harry Paul, date of joining is 10th of October 2022. Now we can have in our mind that how we can update the first column entry, the first row entry, right? So I can simply select this. I can highlight this first row, and then I can click on edit. On the top ribbon, I have the edit option. Otherwise, I can click on these three dots and I can again click on edit option from here as well. Once I will click on edit, it will be allowing us to put all the entries whichever I want. All right, ABC, date of joining, 8th of November, and then I will be able to save it at the bottom. So you can see the first row is also being updated. Similarly, we can create multiple columns in this particular list, right? And we can put all the entries. One more thing, of course, as it is a list, it can be exported. So to export it, suppose if we have a lot of data into it and we want to be exported into our local machine in a form of a CSV file, which we can see in our Excel. So on the top ribbon, I am having the option of export, where it is giving me the option of export to CSV or export to Excel, right? I want the CSV file. I can click on it. Once I'll do it, it will be going to download that file, and it including the list name, right? Suppose if I'll open my download area, here it is. So here it says under today's section, it is having demo webinar list. So it will be having the list name as a file name. Once I will open it, here it is, the file, exec the file name along with all the entries and the column, title, employee name, date of joining, and with these two entries which we have filled up, right? So this is the function of the list, how the list can be created, how we can put the entries into the list. I'm sorry. So we have seen the SharePoint site, how we can create the SharePoint site, how we can create the document library, and how we can create the list and how we can interact with, right? And of course, with each library and the list, there are more options to interact with. Options in terms of they also have their own settings environment. Library has its own settings environment, right? List has its own settings environment if we want to perform any of the settings into it. But that will be going to, take very time, because again, it's a very vast topic, the sections we do have, which will take a lot of time. However, I can show you how you can reach to the settings options with respect to the list or a library. So I'm in my list, you can see test webinar library. And to reach to the settings of this library, on the top right side, we are having this gear icon, or we can say this settings icon. Once I'll click on it, it will be having the library settings options. As we can see, the fourth option, the library settings. Once I will click on it, it will be showing me the description, and at the bottom it will be having more library settings. Once I will press on this, so this is the library settings. You can see it is showing me the library name and is targeting to the settings, which means I am under the settings of this particular library, where it is having all the libraries which we can go through. These are all the options with respect to the library. So that was regarding list and libraries. Now we will be going to move to the permission. So I have shown you the list and the library. The next part is our permissions in SharePoint, right? So by default, there are permission levels and the permission groups as well, right? In our SharePoint environment. So whenever a SharePoint site gets created, it also creates these three groups under the permission section. It is having one group is owners group. Owners group will be having the authorization of full control. They will be able to do everything in that particular site. Then the second group will be members group. They will be having the edit rights, only the edit, which means they will be able to perform, add, update the items into the libraries or in the SharePoint site, but they will not be able to manage the settings of the site or to the library, right? And then we are having the visitors groups, which will be having the read access or a viewer access, which we can see, which means they only be able to see the items into it. They will only be able to see the files and the folders into the area, but they will not be able to update anything or to delete anything, as they have only the read access. So these are the groups along with their permission rights. However, in terms of the permission levels, the rights I would talk about, the rights level or the permission level, by default, there are 5, which is having full control, design, edit, contribute, and read. I'll show you on the lab, and it will also give us some the summary information about what these permission levels are for. So what I'm going to do is I will go to my home page of the site. This is my demo webinar site. I will press on the home option on the left panel. So this is my home page, and all the permission settings will be available when I will reach to the gear icon. The settings icon on the top right side. Here it is. So once I will click on this one, it will be having site permissions. As we can see, site permissions. I need to click on this, right? So we will not interact with this particular, which we can see over here. However, because we need to go to directly to the advanced permission settings, right? However, we can see 3 groups are already there. It says sites owners, which is having full control. Site members, it is showing limited control, which will be having only the edit rights, and site visitors, which will be having no control, right? So these are the default groups which I was talking about. So I need to go to the advanced permission settings area, which is at the last option. I will click on this advanced permission settings. Here it is, right? So as all 3 groups are here, members, owners, and visitors. However, all these groups will be appending with the site name. So whatever the site which you will be going to create, it will be having that site name as well. As our site name is demo webinar site, that's why this group name is, the full name is demo webinar site members, demo webinar site owners, and demo webinar site visitors, to identify that yes, this group is with regards to this particular site. As we see on the column, the respective column, the entry of these members, these groups, it says SharePoint group for all 3 groups, that it is a SharePoint group, and the permission, the access, the authority which these groups are having. It is showing edit, the members are having edit, the owners are having full control, and the visitors are having read access. So these are the permission level. So we can also see the default permission level area, and we can also create our own permission levels as well, like the customized one. First, we will see the permission level. So on the top ribbon, if you see, there's a permission levels option over here. So once I will click on this, here we are having all the 5 permission levels, the default permission levels. For full control, it is explaining has a full control. Design, it says the person can view, add, update, delete, approve, and customize. For edit, it is showing can add, edit, and delete lists, can view, add, update, and delete list items and documents. For contribute, it is showing can view, add, update, and delete list items and documents. And the read, it says only can view pages and list items and download documents. Yes. So the read one, the one which will be under the visitors group, will be having the read access, which will be allowing them to download it, but still they will not be able to update anything. So these are the permission levels. Before we create any customized permission, of course, if we let me just go over here back to the settings page where we have all the groups. I have created one of my demo account as well for the testing. So if I have opened it right now. So this one is my demo user 4. All right. And what I'll do, I will provide the read access to this user. All right. So if I want to provide the read access to this user, I can add simply into this particular group. This is demo webinar visitors group, right? Before we do that, suppose if any query with regards to permission or access comes to you being as an administrator, right? If the user would say that he or she is not able to access this particular library or the site. So first step, our first step should be to check its rights, check its permission, that which permission this user is having. To do that, there is an option of check permission on this top ribbon, check permission over here where I'm hovering the mouse. Once I will press on this, it will ask me to put their username. So suppose I will check for my demo user 4, which I have shown you the account. So I will go with the demo user 4. So we need to pick up from the list as well. So it's a people picker list. Whenever we put something, suppose I press on demo user only. So it is showing me whosoever users are available, right? So I can select my demo user 4. It has taken the name and I will press on check now. Now you can see it says at the bottom, permission level given to this demo user 4, right? And it is showing its email address. It says none. So right now, this demo user 4 is not able to access this particular site. Suppose if I will, let me open the site homepage. So this is the site homepage. If I'll copy this, and if I go to this demo user 4 account, here it is, demo user 4 account, and I will just simply open a new tab and paste that URL of that particular site and hit enter. It says you need permission to access this site, right? Which means this user does not have any access. I will go back to my admin account where I was working. So I'm under the permission sections where we have checked the permission for the user. Now, if I want to add this user or to provide this user a read access that he or she should be able to see all the items, I will open this group, particularly the visitors group like this. I will click on it. It is open. So it's a demo webinar site visitors group as it is showing over here. So if I want to add the user, so I am having these options over here, new, actions and settings, right? These three options. I will simply press on the new. Once I will press on new, it says add users to this group. I will click on it. It says invite people. And here I need to put the username or email address, I would say. Demo user. It's a demo user 4 I was talking about. So this is the demo user 4, right? And at the bottom, if I want to put any description messages, I can put over here in this particular box. After that, it is having show option. So if I press on this, it says send an email invitation to this user. So yes, we can keep this box checked mark as we want to send the invitation. So once we'll do that, and I need to click on share. Now you can see this demo user 4 name has taken the place over here, right? And it's under the visitors group, which will be having the read access. So what we can do, I can go back to my demo user 4's account. I'll show you, this is my demo user 4 account, right? And I will close this window, access required once. I will again put the URL of that particular site, demo webinar site, as we can see on the URL. I will hit enter. Here we go. Now this user is able to see the site, right? He is able to access the home page, right? So we can see this is the demo user 4, and he is able to see the left panel where he or she can see test webinar library or demo webinar list. If I'll go with the webinar library, you can see it. This user is able to see all 3 entries over there. However, you will notice on the top ribbon, there is no new option. Like there is no new option to add anything, because this user is having only the read access. This user is cannot add anything or to update anything. Even if this user will try to open this file, like a hello test file, it's a Word file, it will get open, but it will not provide the the right access or the read access, the of course the full access to edit this file. If I'll just perform, it says read only. This document is read only, right? So this user is not able to edit the document. It will just simply close it. However, this user can download it. As we can see, this download option is there, right? Now, what I'll do, I will again go back to my admin account and we'll go back to my permissions settings. And this time, suppose if I want to check the permission for this user, I will click on check permission. We'll put the demo user 4 account, right? And we'll press on check now. Here you can see now it says permission level to this. It says read access and given through the demo webinar visitors group. So it has been given through the visitors group. That's why it is having the read access this time. Now, if I want to provide the edit access, right? I can go to the members group, right? I can again simply click on new and can click on add users. Here, I will again put the demo user 4. Here it is, right? Show option, it says send an email invitation and we'll press on share. So this user has also taken the place under the members group, which are having the edit permission. So suppose in the scenario where a user is added on 2 or is having 2 level of permission, 2 rights, then in that scenario only the superior permission will be going to work. So as I have provided the superior level permission, which is edit, as compared to the read, which means read will not be going to impact. Now the edit permission will be going to impact for the user. I will again go back to my demo user account. This is my demo user account. We can see demo user 4, right? I will just simply refresh this library, refresh this site. I have refreshed it. Now you can see demo user 4 account and it is having new option on the top ribbon. So once I will press the new option, it is allowing me to, add the other items, right? Even though if I'll open this hello test or location file, it will be going to allow me, being as the demo user, to edit the file. As we can see, demo user 4 updated the file and it will simply close it, right? And if I'll refresh this, you can just see this modified and modified by column. So if I'll just refresh it, it will update that information. So it says modified with respect to this hello test file few seconds ago and modified by demo user 4, right? I can go back to my admin account. So this is my MOD administrator account. And if I'll open this particular site and we'll go to the same library, test webinar library. So I can see here it is. This hello test file has been modified a minute ago by demo user 4. Being as the MOD user, if I'll open this file, I will be able to see the changes which my user has done. So of course, as it is having the edit rights, this user will be able to delete the documents as well. So again, we need to keep in our mind, being as the owner of the site and being as the admin of the SharePoint environment, to whom we are providing which kind of access. We need to keep in our mind so that our data should not be breached. There should not be any kind of a security breached, right? I'm again back to my permission group. All right. Just 1 minute here. All right. So here, if I will talk about that, so that was regarding the group. I was adding the user into the group. I have added into the visitors groups and the members group. I can also directly assign the permission. So in that scenario, I do not want to, add any user in any group. I want to directly assign the permission to that user. So first, what I'll do, let me just simply remove the users from the group. So I will also show you. So now I'm showing you that how we can remove the groups from the, remove the users from any group, any permission group. So here, the demo user 4 is there, right? I will simply check mark on this in front of the box, which is available, and we'll press on action, the action tab. Once I'll do that, under action tab, it is having remove users from group, right? I need to just simply click on it. It says, are you sure you want to remove it? I would say yes. Okay. So this user, the demo user 4 has been removed from the members group, right? I'll go back and I will again click on visitors group, as this user was under visitors group as well. I will check this user, we'll click on action and we'll click on remove user. So now that user is removed from all of the groups. To make sure, I can just simply check permission and then we can check now. It shows none. Now, if I want to directly assign this, assign a permission to this user without adding it into any group, there is an option of grant permission on this top ribbon. The first one, grant permission. I can click on grant permission where it is asking me to invite the people. I would simply press demo user 4. Here it is in the list. And this time, if I will again click on show option like this. So the one option is as it is same, send an email invitation. The other option will be select a permission level, right? So from here as well, I will be able to select it. If I will expand this under the list, let me just move this to the top. Okay. So here, if I will expand this list, so it will also give me the opportunity if I want to add this user to any of the group. 3 groups are here, the members, owners, and the visitors. Apart from these 3 groups, it is showing me all, 5 levels, the permission levels, which we had seen: full control, design, edit, contribute, read, right? So we can also have these ones. So if I want to directly assign a permission, suppose the edit permission, right? Or I would say the read permission, right? So I have selected the read and then I will press on share. So I will refresh this page. Now you can see this demo user 4 has taken a separate entry. It is not in the groups, and under the type column, it says user. Permission level, it is showing read. Now being as a user, previously I was having the edit permission. That's why I was able to perform all the activities, right? Now, if I'll refresh it, those new option has gone, the new tab has gone, and I'm also not able to add anything or to perform any other activity. I'll let you know these questions. Let me just proceed, because we are also running out of the time. Okay, so here what I was talking about, that I have modified the permission. That's why the new option has gone, right? And I'm not able to edit anything now. But yes, with respect to user, how that user will be going to know that which type of permission he has got, like, or if it has got any permissions or any access. So this user will be having its, of course, Outlook account, the mail account. So once I will open the mail account for this particular user, so you can see it's a demo user, and you can see it has received the emails. It says MOD administrator is inviting you to collaborate on demo webinar site, right? So it says here's the site that MOD administrator has shared with you. You can see go to the webinar site. So it's a hyperlink. Once this user will be going to click on it, it will open the site. All right. The recent one, the latest one was the edit, edit permission, edit authorization. That's why it is not having the new option on the home page as well. And on the library, which we can see, it does not have any options to add anything or to edit anything. That was a part of assigning the permission directly. If I will this time, if I will click on check permission and will again put the username, we'll press on check now. So it says read, and this time it says given directly. It is not showing that it has been given through of any of the groups, right? Now, one thing which I would like to also share with you that will be again informative, that these permission, it was on the site level. Let me do one thing. Suppose on this user, I can also modify this permission for this user, right? I will highlight this user and we'll click on edit user permission. And from here, I can select which permission I want to modify. I can assign every permission, all the permission which I have, or I can just modify it. Suppose I want to, previously it was on read, I would make it on edit. I'll press OK. So this edit permission has been, modified. However, it cannot be done with the groups, the default groups. If I will even highlight it, so on the top ribbon, I'm not getting the option to edit the user permission. So these default groups cannot be deleted. These three groups, members, owners, and visitors, cannot be deleted or cannot be modified, right? So I have provided the edit permission to this user, or I can do one more thing. Just give me, let me provide the full control. I have provided the full control to this user on this site. Now where I will go to my library, which I have created. So this is one of my library, test webinar library. So library also having its own permission metrics. So to reach to the library permission metrics, again, I need to first go to the library, and then we need to click on the settings icon once again. And I need to go to library settings and click more library settings. Right, test webinar library, directing to settings, and under this permission and management column, the second one is permissions for this document library. I will click on it. Here I can see all these three groups which are having, and plus that user 4 as well, same as it is showing, it was showing on the site level. I will side by side, let me open the site level permission metrics as well. Let me go home and site permission. Advanced permission settings. Here it is. So this is for the site, and this tab is for the library. As we can see here in the note, it says this library inherits permission from its parent, which is the parent is demo webinar site. So this library has its parent, which is our site, and it is inheriting the same permission metrics from its parent. Now, what we want that on this particular, or for this particular document library, I would like to have the unique permission. I do not want to inherit the same permission metrics, right? I want to design its own permission metrics. So for that, on the top ribbon for this library, I'm having an option of stop inheriting permissions, right? So if I'll do that, and then it says You are about to create unique permissions for this document library. Changes made to the parent side permissions will no longer affect this document library. So whatever the changes I will do on the parent side, it will not be going to reflect over here. I will press OK. And now it is having its unique permission. As it says as well, this library has unique permission, right? Which means I can play around with these permissions which I have right now. Whatever the permission has been, inherited, it will be there, but yes, it can be deleted. So suppose, and now this time I can delete all these groups as well, and or I would say every entry, but it will not be going to impact on the site level, right? So suppose if I would like to delete this user, the demo user 4, I have selected it. I will click on remove user permission. I would say okay. So now this user is gone from the library permission matrix, right? Suppose if I'll click on check permission for this user now, once again, and I'm doing it from the library settings page to check the permission. So I'll click on demo user 4 and we'll press on check now. It says none. However, let me go back to the site permission metrics, right? Now, if I'll click on check permission, and you can see, let me close it. You can see demo user 4 is there, right? Let me also add one more thing. Let me add one more user, that is demo user 2, suppose for an example. And if I want to assign any permission to this user as well, maybe like design, or I will press on share, will refresh. You can see demo user 2 has also taken the place over here. However, if I will come back to my SharePoint library, I'm sorry, the document library, I will refresh this. It is not showing that demo user 2, either the demo user 4 as well. As we have checked for the demo user 4, it was showing none as a permission. Now I will check the demo user 4 again on the site level, which I was trying to do. So I will select demo user 4 and will press on check now. Now it says full control given directly, and that is for this site only, right? However, same on the on the library level, it is showing none. What will be the impact of it? It says none. Let me open my demo user account. So I am under demo user 4 account, right? So I would have received an email. So it is for the demo webinar site, right? If I'll click on it, so you can see as on the site, I'm having full control. So it is allowing me to create the document libraries, a new document libraries and the list. But as I have managed the permission level on the permissions on the library level, and the library was demo webinar list. No, it was it was test webinar library. You can see on the left panel, I'm not able to see, being as a user, I'm not able to see that library because I do not have any access into that. If I click on site content, being as a user, I am having a full control. I am still not able to see that library. The test webinar library is not here for me because I do not have the rights to access that. So you can see how it has been designed, that on the site, on the whole site, I am having a full control access. But if I am not having the right on the on any library or a list, I'm not able to access it. Even though, suppose if someone would provide a link to that library, this is the test webinar library. So if I will take the URL of that library from one of my colleagues, for an example, and after copying the link of that library, I'll come back to my account and will open a new tab and will put this particular URL. I will hit enter. Now you can see it says, sorry, you do not have access to this particular library. I'm having the access on the whole site, but I do not have the access to this particular library. Similarly, if I'll go back to my admin account, we'll go back to the library permissions. This is not the library permission. Wait a minute. Sorry, library settings. And then we'll click on more library settings, permissions for this library, right? And suppose what I'll do, if I want to, suppose if I want to inherit the permission from its parent, right? This library wants to inherit the permission from its parent. So again, I can see on the ribbons, the first option where previously it was showing stop the inheritance. Now it is showing delete unique permissions. So I'll click on delete unique permission, where it says you are about to inherit permissions from the parent website. Any custom permissions will be lost. So if it says if you have performed any customization, it will be lost. So let me do the customization, more customization. Suppose I am deleting all these groups as well. Let me remove. I would say okay. So now you can see it is not having any of the permission groups, any of the permission levels, right? So it is a customize which I have performed, customization. So if I'll press on delete unique permission once again, and I'll press OK. So you see, once I press OK, what would happen? Like this. Here it is. I am under the library and it has got all the same metrics from its parent. As it says now, this library inherits permission from its parent, that is demo webinar site. And now it is showing demo user 2 as well, demo user 4 as well, which is having full control as the same which this particular site area is showing. This time, if I'll again go back to my demo user account, right, where it was showing, sorry, you don't have access. Let me refresh it. Okay, it is on the cache. Let me refresh this page where right now it is showing, like it is not showing the test webinar list on the left panel. I will just refresh this page. Here it is. The test webinar library is here, which I am able to access it. Even though it will be available for me under site content, and I can see here it is, test webinar library, this one. As I am having the full control. So that was how we can inherit the permissions, how we can design the permissions on the library level, which means if I am having multiple libraries, I can design their own permission metrics. So if I want that this user should be having, or any particular user should be having the access to only one or two library in the site, and for the other libraries, it does not should be having the access, I can design respectively, right? And yes, now I will again go back to my admin account and to this particular permission area. So this time I am going to delete these permissions, like these users, remove users. I would say okay. As it is deleted from the site level, once I will refresh the library level, I am on the library settings permission page. If I'll click on, if I'll refresh it, those two users has gone, right? Now, that was regarding the permissions which are available by default. As we know about the edit permission, that the edit permission will be having its like the deleting rights as well. The person will be able to delete the documents as well and to update it. But what I want in a permission level by which the user should be able to update all the entries, like they will be able to edit entries, but they should not be able to delete anything. But that permission still right now is not available. But for that, what we can do, I can open this permission levels area. And here, the 5 default permissions are already there, but I can click on add a permission level. All right. But before I do that, I will open this edit permission in the new tab. Right. So this is the edit permission, the default permission level, which is created default. It is having, we can see what all the authorization or access has been checked mark for this edit permission. Right. So now here I will click on add a permission level. Once I click on it, it says give it a name. what I'll provide, update, no delete, which means the user should be able to update anything, but should not be able to delete from my library. So perform it, I need to just, I need to keep all the options as same as edit apart from the delete. So as I have already opened the edit permission level, so I will just remember the options which are check mark. So this one is check mark, add items, edit items. So I would select manage list, add items, edit items, but I'm not checking this delete item access, right? After delete, it is on view items, open items, view versions. So it says view items, open items, view versions, right? Create alerts, view application pages, right? And then if I'll scroll down, it is on under the site permissions. It says browse the directories. I will simply come to this area and will select uh, the options which are available. Browse the directories, use remote, and all three options. All right, and these three options as well. So I have created this one, update, no delete, right? And after checking all these options, I will press on create at the bottom. I will scroll down and I will press on create. So here it is. I have got, like previously it was 5. Now I've got update, no delete, right? So I will go back to my permission area, permission levels. These are my permission levels. And here, as we have the groups over here, the default groups, we can also create the custom groups as per our requirement. So to create a group, I can click on this create group on the top ribbon. It is asking me, so I can select demo webinar permission group. All right. If I want to provide a description, I can do that. Group owner by default is taking my name, right? And where it says who can view the membership of the group, everyone or only the group members. Who can edit the membership of the groups, only the group owners, or if I want to have group members as well. So if I scroll down all the way to the bottom, now it is asking me to select which type of access you want to provide to this particular group. So I am having all these permissions, full control, design, edit, contribute. The last one which I am having is update, no delete, which I have created from my end. Update, no delete, right? So I have selected this one and then I will click on create over here, right? So this group has been created. Let me go to my permission area and we'll refresh the page. And you can see demo webinar permission group is created, which is a SharePoint group and is having a permission level of update, no delete, right? So in that scenario, whatever the users will be going to take place in this group, whatever the users I will be going to add in this group, they will be having the update rights, but not the delete rights. So for that, for an example, let's add the user 4, demo user 4, so options and email invitation. So it has been added into this group. I will check the permission for that user once again, demo user 4, and we'll check now. And it says update no delete given through demo webinar permission group, right? Now, being as a user, I will log into my account, demo user 4, right? And I have received an email for the invitation that I have been invited. I will again click on demo webinar site. It's a hyperlink. It has been open. I'm able to see the libraries, right? So I'm able to add everything. I'm able to edit the documents. However, suppose if I want to delete this document, the hello test document, I will click on show option, like more options into it. You can see there is no delete option. It is having open, preview, share, copy link, manage access, download, automate, pin to top, right? No delete options are available, right? For the folders as well, I'm not having the delete option, which means now this user is having only the edit rights, the update rights, but not having the delete rights, right? So this is how I can also design the permissions as per my requirement. I can assign this permission directly to the users as well. Instead of adding them into the group, I can simply assign that permission. Like suppose if I click on grant permission, and this time I will select demo user 2. And if I click on show option, where I am having this particular area, where I am having this particular permission level, which I have created, update, no delete, right? I can select it and I can click on share. We'll refresh it. You can see demo user 2 is having update, no delete. This is how I can manage the permissions. To create a group, we have this create group option on the top ribbon. But to create the customized permission level, I need to go to the permission levels area and then need to click on add permission levels like this. And here all the permission, all the access will be mentioned. Whatever needs to be checked marked, I can do that so that it will be going to create that permission type of it, right? So this is how we can create it. As we have seen, the permissions can be inherited by the library. Same goes, so it can be also defined on the folder levels as well. So permission can be inherited and can have a unique permission on the folder level as well. In a library, we know that there is a folder as well. Suppose if I'll go to this library, there is a folder, test folder, right? And to have the permission level of this test folder, I need to click on these three dots. And if I'll click on these three dots, I would be having this option, manage access, right? If I click on this manage access, it is having these options, right? And just let me move this to up. At the bottom, I would be having the advanced option, right? I will click on advanced. Now you can see it is giving the information regarding the folder. It says this folder inherits permission from its parent. Parent is again demo webinar site, because however it is coming through the library, because this folder is existing in the library. As library is inheriting it from its parent, that is that is our site. That's why this folder is also inheriting it. I can also stop the inheritance on the folder level. I can click on stop and I will press OK. And I can simply remove everything from here. Like I can click on I can click on remove user permission. And you can see from this folder, the permissions has been gone. Now the impact will be, as this user demo user 4 was added as the update no delete. At least it should be having the update option. But from the test folder, that user, the permission has been removed. If I will refresh this page, this library for this user, you can see that user is not able to see the test folder at all, because on the test folder, from the test folder, the inheritance has been broken, and that user does not see that folder at all, which means that the user will not be able to do anything on that folder because it is not accessible. So this is how the permission matrix has been designed in our SharePoint environment. Even though how we can design that on a library level, if there are some users who have the access on the library level, but what we want that on some folders, they should not have the access. I can go to the folders. I can click on manage access on that folder, and I can remove the access. I can have the unique permission on that particular folder. So this is how I can also perform the customization on it. So that was the part of the permissions, that how we can go through the permission area, how we can design it, and how we can perform it. So suppose let me do one more thing. Let me complete this. It says on the folder level, this folder has a unique permission. Let me delete the unique permissions from here. And before I do that, from this user's account, let me go to that library where that folder was existed. It still is, it's invisible for this user. Let me go here and click on delete unique permission. I will press OK. So it is inheriting now. And the demo user 4 is also available under this permission group. I will go back to the demo user 4 account, right? Let me refresh it. Here is a test folder. Now this user is able to perform the activity on the test folder. So by doing this, we have completed our permission section as well in the SharePoint environment. Yes, so for this one, I have given the answer. This document is again a document library. However, its document library name is the documents that they have provided, as it is a default document library. Again, how to restrict our visitors from download the document. We need to create that customized permission, which I have shown you that how we can create a permission level. And from there, we can just simply uncheck that option that the user should not be able to download it. And we can create that permission and we can assign those permission to the users. Yeah, same. I have provided the answer. It says, I know to create a new subsite from site content. Can you tell me how to create it from home? So it is like it will be from the site content only. From home, there is no options to create the subsite. Once we will go to the site contents, under site contents, we are having this feature of the subsite. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so in that scenario, suppose even though if we are not getting the option to create the subsite, there is a feature which needs to be enabled. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong account. It's a demo user 4. It does not have that rights. I'm sorry. Yeah, on the home, if I'll go to the home, let me click on new. And no, there's no subsite option. However, if I'll go to the site content, I am having this subsite option. So that is the only way to create the subsite from here. Yes, that's right. When edit access is given, the users can able to edit or delete the other documents as well. However, again, depending upon where we have given the edit access. If we want to restrict the user from the folders, I have shown you that we can break down the permission from the folder level as well. Yes, in the limited access, if it is showing the limited access, which means on the folder or maybe on the library level, the permission is broken. The inheritance is broken and they are having a unique permission. Whenever the limited access is showing, when you perform a check operation, check now permission operation. So what happens if there is a unique permission on that particular site in any library or a folder? So in that scenario, it will be going to show you a limited access for that particular user, which means that user would be, having a unique permission on any of the library or on the folders. So that was the answers to the questions which I can see over here. And I would say thank you so much, all of you, for attending this session. It was great. I hope that was kind of informative and will maybe useful in your environment once you will start working with the SharePoint. So thank you so much for that. Thank you and all the best for your future as well. And have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks all.